Welcome to the Four Brewers podcast. My name is John Holzer, and as always, I'm joined by
a man with a guitar
and a guy blowing a guy. Playing guitar. Started that shit over.
a.k.a. Greg Nagel.
Fourth show. Oh my god.
That's just for you, Twitch.
And also Kyle from the chats here.
Hi.
What's up, Kyle? Do you blow guitars?
No. I slap at the bass.
Slapping the bass. It's like slapping your drum.
At least that's something you can actually do. So today on the show, we're drinking some beers from Andy Richter. He is out of Missouri, from what I remember. I hope I'm getting that right, because if I'm getting it wrong, then I'm a total asshole. But yeah, he's from the Missouri Midwest area. And he sent us a lot of beer. He sent us, I could do the math, but probably like 12, 13 beers. Some breweries that we've had on the show before, and some breweries that we've never had.
I like that you refer to counting as doing the math. Shit, I can do the math, but there's 12.
Do you want me to stop and count? Then I will do the math while I count.
It's not doing the math, it's counting.
It's doing math. Counting is doing math.
Counting is not doing math.
That's accounting. It's accounting. I guess it's math.
You're adding 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we... All right, so we're starting.
John has 10 apples, and he takes away one.
We're starting with a beer from
do the math,
from Rockwell Beer Company. I don't think we've had this brewery on the show before, but they do sound familiar, so we may have.
Do they rock well?
I don't think we have, though, because Andy says they're very new, and they were started by a former brewer at Perennial, which is apropos, because we're going to have a Perennial beer on the show. I believe this is from Perennial. Yep.
What is this one called?
This is called Stand By. This is a lager. Appropriate to start the show with lager. And this label art is freaking dope. The cool thing about this beer and this label is I saw it on Instagram, I want to say 2 weeks ago, and I thought, man, that's a dope label. And then he sent it to us. So
sounds dope.
That was rad.
Thanks for sending beers, dude. That's really cool. This label, holy fuck, man.
Yeah.
This like breaks my I was gonna say boner, but it really breaks my boner.
Speaking of boners, apparently Rockwell has a very family-friendly tap room.
Oh.
And on some days they bring in llamas for the kids to pet and take pictures with.
How does that speak of boners?
I don't know.
John's sexually attracted to llamas.
And their quote-unquote mascot is also a llama. So they love llamas. And apparently these are all notes that Andy sent with these beers. So when you hear these little fun facts, it's Andy's notes on the breweries and the beers. But they pay their employees a living wage, and at first they didn't accept tips. And they've since changed that, and now all the tips that they get, the money goes to various charities around the town.
Yeah, there's a restaurant in Anaheim that opened up with that sort of same model. They're like, yeah, we're not going to accept tips.
I mean, it's cool that they're paying a living wage, but at the same time, like if people are willing to tip the employees, I like it's cool that they're donating the money.
The tip culture where employers aren't paying people, right? Like,
right.
The problem we have is that there's an entire culture built around it where you have to tip people.
Yes.
So, and it's really built into like these people won't eat unless you fucking tip them. So the whole idea is like, don't tip these people. We pay them like fairly, but people are still like, but I want to because I'm used to it.
But she's dope.
Yeah.
Or he's dope. He did great service. Like
I don't really think about the fact that they get paid less than minimum wage, because they're getting tips. I always tip because I like the place. I like the service. It's when I tip a lot of money, it's because I legit am happy with my service and my experience at the place that I'm at. So it's cool that they pay a living wage. Obviously, that's awesome. But
in a brewery, I think brewing. I interviewed a bunch of taproom employees for an article, and a bunch of them were like, "Yeah, we get the world's worst tips. Like we'll slave over doing a bunch of flights for people, and we get like a $1 tip per flight or something like that, and it takes them forever to do. They get to clean all the glassware. They spend extra time explaining the beers to people. Maybe people who are doing flights are like first timers to the brewery, so they're like spending extra time doing that. and then to get like a dollar tip or no tip, they're like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
But they said it all kind of balances out at the end of the night. They pool the tips and split them evenly across everybody that's working. And so it sort of works out. But and then there's other situations where suppose you go to a high-end bar that has Duck Duck Goose, and you can buy it by the bottle. And it's $100 a bottle, and somebody's tipping $1 on that because they feel like the effort to bring out one bottle was the same as a $6 bottle.
Right.
So why should I tip you 15 to 20% to bring out that one bottle? Well, you're tipping based on the restaurant's ability to acquire that beer, first of all, to cellar it properly, to maintain perfect glassware, it's served at perfect temperature.
But
the
that's
employees are
exactly why
knowledgeable.
it should be taken out.
But isn't that built
it should be
into the
eliminated
price?
as a whole.
But I don't mind, like if I'm drinking wine, like that's not even
It's not a matter of me not wanting to tip. It's just the unreliability of it and the offloading of the responsibility of making sure the server is paid to the customer. It's just fucking needs to be rid of it. Like that whole culture
I'm
needs
fine
to
with
go
that.
away.
But if everything changed, then that would solve it. But it's never going to change.
What is this high-end restaurant that serves beer other than Bud Light?
O'Brien's down in San Diego.
The actual high-end restaurant
yeah.
that serves actual beer?
No, I'm talking about they have just high-end beers.
Okay.
Like you can get Duck Duck Goose or whatever by the bottle, which
Like Tornado's the same way.
yeah, Tornado you can buy. It's $100, and if you're gonna tip
Those are fine dining for us
$1.
beer lovers at Tornado and O'Brien.
like a dollar tip on that bottle, is
You get those beer
fuck,
cheese
man.
fries. They're fucking killer.
My point with bringing this up was it's cool that they donate the tips to charities around town. But at the same time, like a tip is kind of a reward for the service that you were given by whoever is,
sometimes
serving you.
Yeah,
And so
I agree with
I
that.
could see maybe splitting it where it's like half goes to the server, half goes to charity. But I also understand they're trying to stop the tipping culture idea, I guess. And it's just, I don't know.
as long as the
It's
employees.
it's a cool talking point and it's controversial,
Right.
but I'm happy at the end of the day that they're paying their employees a living wage. So
I'm
they
happy
don't
with that
have to
too.
depend on tips.
if the employees start to suck over time, is there like some oversight besides just shitty customer
Well, you're
complaints?
just being
to-
a bad,
The same as
being a bad
every other
employee.
job.
Yeah.
It's like imagine if at your job it's like you fucking did a good job on quality control this week. Here's an extra $5.
Well, I think about
we're
my
not
job.
giving you that
Sweet.
$5 because you sucked
Like
this week.
my job, I'm in a union and I get paid the same amount as this guy next to me that also has the same qualifications but does a shitty job. I know that I'm good at my job, and I have customers tell me that I'm good at my job, and I've had customers offer me tips. Obviously, I can't take tips because that's not right.
I'd give you
And,
just the tip.
but if we did accept tips and it was like, I'm going to give you a tip, John, and your coworker that sucks, I'm not going to give him a tip, I'd be like, yeah, because I go out of my way to do a really good job.
Yeah.
So that's why I think tips are a reward. They shouldn't be supplemental to your income. Well, I shouldn't say you shouldn't have to depend on them for your income. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, no, Treehouse.
But as a reward, it's great.
Treehouse went through that whole shit show of like all their employees are basically just servicing people who are coming in and buying, flats of cans and then leaving, and people aren't tipping anything on that, obviously. And it's like they should be paid more. They shouldn't be on the hook for a tip wage. They should be paid like a normal wage if they're doing that function. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
tipping
saying?
is weird too. I just saw a tweet recently about tipping your barista, and I'm like, does that apply to like Starbucks? Like, because they're not a tipping company. Like their wages aren't based around tips. Like, I've never seen anyone tip anyone at Starbucks. Like,
I have. I have a tip jar,
Okay, a tip jar, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
but it's not like.
But
you
like,
can write
yeah,
in
You don't
tips.
you don't like put it in their shirt. Like
That's not what I mean.
Hey, baby, this one's for you.
I'm saying handing them a tip,
Oh,
like,
God.
hey, thanks. Here's $2. Like that's I don't know. It's just
the jar.
Tipping
Keep
is
the change.
awkward in general. Like there's places where you definitely should tip, like restaurants and bars and whatnot. And then some places where it's kind of like, should I be tipping? Like,
if they're bringing something out to you or giving you service that is of value, I think they should be tipped.
Yeah, also, the restaurants and bars thing, that all gets pooled too and shared amongst everyone that's working there.
yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that either. But
Man,
anyway,
well,
that was fun.
We got a beer.
what if they like worked it into the price and then like pooled that into the income of the establishment and then just paid everyone on their paycheck based on their pricing.
That would be best.
The place in Anaheim, it's called Cultivation Kitchen. They do that, and they have Beechwood on tap, and they're $8 a pint, but you don't have to tip on it. So it's like it's the same price of a $6, $7 beer, but you're just paying for the beer and tax, and you're not compelled to tip. But I would tip on that as well.
I went to a crappy restaurant, and it had a lot of like IE locals that were just picked because they were local and not because they were good, and they were still $8 a pint. And they still expected a tip, I'm pretty sure.
They also had June Shine there and by the can.
They probably
wasn't going
did.
to tip on that.
But I went to a bar that had 40 beers on tap, and I finally was like, something I can drink. I got a can of PBR for $3.
Nice.
So disappointing.
Dang.
Yeah.
So this beer, you guys.
Yeah, I could drink a liter of this.
This
I
is
could
just
drink
highly
2 liters.
drinkable. It's very, very clean and crisp. Like nothing really bad to say about it. It's a Pilsner. They call it a hoppy Pilsner on the can, but I don't know how hoppy it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't say hoppy. I would expect more if you're calling it a hoppy, but for me, it's just a good pills.
I think
up.
it may be. I'm wondering if you do the same IBU levels of hops, but you're using a less expressive hop, like compared to using like a noble hop for 35 IBUs. If they're using something like a Citra or something, that you're gonna get a hoppiness without getting that like huge, like, oh, the hops are all here because they're super danky and nobly. And
I don't know. This is like my wheelhouse beer. Like hoppy Pilsner is so freaking good.
I finished it like halfway through the minimum wage talk.
Yeah, I poured the rest into my glass. So it's I mean, for a fairly new brewery, like coming out the gate with a really clean, crisp.
That tells you one thing
pills.
about the brewery. The can's beautiful. The beer is beautiful inside of it. And if you're a new brewery and you can pull off those two things, like you're gonna go places in this day and age.
Man, Pils is so good. I remember the first Pils I had was at like a New Year's party when I was 16. We had to help my friend's parents clean up after the party, and it sucked. I don't know what it was, but it was horrible.
Remember when you were really little and you couldn't have pills, so they gave you the like pink bubblegum flavored stuff?
Yes.
The pink bubblegum flavors.
They're getting it. You guys got
Pills.
it.
Wait.
Pills, like pills you take. Like
See, when
cough
you're a
pills.
little kid, you can't have medicine in pills, so you get the
You can't
little...
swallow pills yet. You can only do chewables. I think Oscar Blues sort of broke my Pilsner bubble with really good pills with the Mamas
Oh, yellow.
Little Yellow. I think that was like, wow, this beer's really good. And I want to drink that all the time.
I didn't care for that one when I first had it.
Well, then
I
Pivo.
kind of came around to pills in the last like 3 or 4 years, I think.
Yeah, with Pivo. You call it Parvo. at one
I did.
point.
I used to call it Parvo pills.
Man,
That's
that's
so
so
funny.
gross.
I'm just wondering.
Still funny
I
name.
really want to grab some Pivo, but
You can't find it
yeah, I
anywhere.
can't find
You have to go to
it.
Paso.
Yeah.
It's old as fuck when I find it. It's
Yeah, you have to go up to Paso
There's
Robles.
stores that have it, but it's always
Or
not
LA.
fresh.
All right, so coming up next, we have a beer from Earthbound Brewing. This is a brewery that's been around for a few years, according to Andy, and this beer is called Fuzzy Pickles. And when I saw this beer when I was unboxing it on our Instagram channel account on IG Live, I thought, wow, is this made with pickles? And if so, that seems really bizarre.
I hate pickles, so I'm already predisposed to not care for it.
It's a beer dedicated to manscaping.
What?
Fuzzy Pickles. Get it?
This is like cheesy dong.
Yeah, this definitely smells like some pickle juice.
So,
Coriander and Sriracha Ace.
Oh, fun.
yeah, and Andy says like it's a Goza made with Sriracha Ace hops, which he is saying is a hop varietal that smells like dill and lemongrass. Which
Yeah.
with Sriracha Ace, for me, typically I get like a huge lemon kind of character.
Dill and lemongrass, I can see.
Yeah, from back in my Nagel 2012 Sierra Nevada beer camp, I was on Sriracha Ace duty, and they're like, Nagel, we need 2 buckets of Sriracha Ace, and those big whole leaf cone sort of bricks.
Right.
that are like 4 feet tall.
You gotta
I was
break
like,
them apart.
I was breaking them apart. My whole hands were all green and shit. And like, I never got that smell of Sriracha Ace up. It was like coconut meets dill pickle meets lemongrass. And like every time I smell that, it brings me back to beer camp. And this beer does.
I do get the dill now that it's mentioned.
It's
as,
very
like,
subtle.
Yeah.
It's not like Sriracha showers that Noble did. That was a fucking pickle bomb.
Is beer camp like the grown-up version of going to space camp? Yeah.
It smells like
Hanging out with Ken Grossman and
it smells like the pickle jar you get at the farmer's market, the little artisan homemade pickle maker. That it's not super vinegary.
yeah, it's a fun hop. It's so different. There's no other hop like it. Like it's so lemony and so pickly.
I'm really curious how psychosomatic it is, where I'm like, oh, this does smell pickly, but like, would I have
It's more lemony.
Would I have pulled that without the nose or without the prompt?
Yeah, the prompt, exactly. Now that I get the prompt, because I've never picked up dill from Sriracha Ace
It's
at
more
all.
lemon pledgy than it is pickle.
Definitely, yeah. But calling it fuzzy pickles, like just the name alone is going to imply that
God.
you're going to smell pickles.
Jason's face.
Oh yeah, it sets you up for
Jason's
Fuck.
face looks like you
to
got
taste pickle.
So Jason,
Tastes like pickles.
oh, it tastes like pickles. What?
Oh my god, old sphincter nagel.
I don't know, man. That is
That tastes
a
like
beer.
Sriracha Ace.
tastes like fucking cheesy dog.
This is like cheesy dong.
It's not a bad, like, it's not that it's bad. This is just not my flavor profile. Like,
I think the pickliness from it on the flavor is maybe like a slight like that, because it is a goza, so it's a salty
Lemon pickles.
kind of tartness. That's what you get from pickles, right? Like you get the way the pickle tastes. Like
for the record, I hate pickles.
Butter pickles?
Okay.
Really?
I fucking
How do you hate pickles?
I've come around to pickles.
Jesus Christ, you
I used
hate
to
people.
I
The
used to hate
worst.
pickles like a lot.
What do you eat? Besides
like
pizza,
for a while, I was a
Taco
little
Bell.
pickle curious, and now I've got all in.
I like pickles.
I love it.
I'm not afraid to say it.
Give them the pickle. That's what I always say.
The whole pickle. God, I love pickles.
But I mean, that's what they're going for, right? It's a goza, so it's going to be slightly tart, a little salty, and then Sriracha Ace having that dill character. Yeah,
It's such a fascinating hop. Like it really is.
Goza, fuck yourself.
You either like it or you don't.
Yeah, I'm not really
I
getting
like it.
any tartness out of this.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think the tartness is what Jason is perceiving as the pickle flavor.
Jason's gonna go vomit.
I'm gonna go pick a fight.
He's gonna
Go
pickle.
pickle.
How you want to handle this? How you want to handle this?
Jason's
Take it
going
outside?
for a rinse. Yeah, I wouldn't drink this on the regular, but it's interesting to try as like a one-off kind of thing. And maybe if you're a huge pickle fan, like, or a fan of huge pickles, like you would love this beer. Like pickles, I mean, they're pickled cucumbers, right? And like there's cucumber saisons and stuff like that. Like it's a refreshing kind of vegetable, or is it a vegetable or a fruit?
Technically a fruit.
There's seeds in it, so but yeah, once it's I think
I think Sriracha Ace is such a fascinating hop because people either love it or hate it. It's very binary. But it's also one of those things that's like it's a good teaching point for new people with beers. It's like, here's what hops can do. Like you can get these blueberries and tropical thing, get the citrus thing, and then there's shit like this that who wants lemon pledge and pickles?
I mean,
I don't mind the hop, but it's a very powerful hop.
And like I remember when Noble did their Sriracha Ace showers, they had to put on the sign like not sriracha, like not hot, because people wouldn't buy it because they thought it was spicy.
Right.
Like, yeah, the human psyche's funny. And it was originally a hop that was made by Sapporo in Japan. They developed it, crossbred it.
it does sound like it's like a 70s anime.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so up next we have a beer from Perennial. This is Owen. It's a table strength saison made with, or I should say, dry hopped with Mosaic and packet. It says, let's see. I'm gonna start that over. So up next is a beer from Perennial. This is Owen. It's a table saison dry hopped with Mosaic. It's in a cute little it's a 500 ml bottle. It's got some electrical tape on the cap. I never understood the electrical tape thing. Like, what's electrical tape going to actually do if the cap comes off? Nothing. It's just going to...
I think it's more for seeping or pressure changes and oxygen getting in.
I guess.
I'm assuming.
It seems pointless, but
Or honestly, because it's being put on pressure and shaken and whatever to just keep the cap from coming off in the first place.
But is it going to keep? I just pulled the cap through it. Like, it's not going to do anything.
Well, you weren't pushing the cap
It's
from
in
the
case
inside.
there's an electrical emergency and the bottle's going to get electrocuted, and then they're like, we want to save the beer inside, so hence providing an insulative
Greg's
sort of-
right.
yeah.
So when
There
you
you go.
ship something, are the planes pressurized in the cargo cabin?
Well, I don't know.
So I think that could make a difference on whether how you're shipping bottles.
Even like the passenger cabin's pressurized, but if you have like chips or whatever,
yeah,
they'll,
or
like,
about just a straight up
Well, I mean, if
UPS plane.
people sometimes fly with their animals in the cargo thing, so
Oh, so it should be pressurized. Yeah.
What about
That's
a mail?
true.
What about a cargo only plane?
Probably not.
UPS plane.
probably not.
So that's where this.
God damn it, Kyle.
What?
This is not a plane show.
yeah, but like, what about like those big planes where like the dudes parachute out of? Like, how are they doing it?
That's another good point.
They go up to about 10,000 feet, which is
Oh, is that what it is? They're just
it's
not that high?
mountain-
I'm
that's
thinking
like
in reference to
mountain
shipping
elevation.
beer.
Yeah, they're not jumping from 35,000 feet. Or are
Maybe-
they?
No, fuck no, unless you have an oxygen mask.
Yeah, true.
Oh,
yeah.
because it's not pressurized. You see? Oh,
Yeah, see?
yeah, see?
Yeah, see? Yeah.
We are all thirsted Hal on this blessed day.
Well, see, this beer.
Thurston Howell, the third show.
Oh my God, Thurston. I'm thirsting for this beer.
Hey-o.
All right, I'm getting perfumey out of this one.
What is this beer again?
So
This is Owen from Perennial.
Owen from Perineum.
Okay. What?
Sorry.
Fourth show, Greg.
Roasted him.
Perineum.
Perennium. Perennial.
Perennial. Sorry. My bad.
You okay?
No.
You having a stroke or something?
Greg's like,
trying to be funny, dude.
Anybody smell toast?
Get a lot of toast on the nose.
Burnt toast.
Smell a little Munich malt.
Is it just me or does this beer make your whole left side numb?
LOL stroke jokes.
those are different kinds of jokes.
Can no one else move the left side of their face?
Stick your tongue out, John. Smile for me. Oh, God. So, Owen's tasting pretty good.
Oh, that's super good.
It's got a nice little tea-like character, I think.
Yeah, just a nice light saison. It looks like it's under 5%. Got a little bit of hop character to it.
A little zing.
Little lemon going on too.
Yep, little lemon, like a tea that had a little bit of lemon squeezed in it. It's got some herbal, sort of bready.
This is a 375 bottle. I think I said that originally and changed it to 5, but it's a 375. 4.7%. That's awesome.
That's it. Wow.
Yeah, this
Only
is super good.
$25.
I think the mosaic's coming through quite a bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ritz, but I think mine still smells like Sriracha Ace.
I went to a lot of effort to clean out my... Actually, I changed glasses.
That's a good call. Our glasses have seen some shit today, man. Good God.
This dumper, man.
The dumper is like...
Kyle's really going to hate drinking that.
that's the new... It's the house rules, man. You know it.
It's a tradition around here.
Yeah, it's a little tradition. Put a little extra on your last wing.
Yeah. Last dab that.
You got a last dab it. You're gonna pour a little dumper in your last sip.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh God.
Not today. Like, normally the dumper seems like, oh, that'd be funny. Now you're just like, oh, God.
Last dab with Sriracha Ace.
Sorry.
I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this beer. It's
Other
really
than-
clean, very well done.
Balanced.
Got some fruit character. The Brett is, I think, perfect. Like, it's not super, super funky. It's
The mouth feels
It's
very
that,
pillowy.
it's that kind of neutral Brett where it gives it a little bit of like mild Brett funk. A little bit of like overripe fruit on the nose that comes through. I think it's probably coming from the yeast, but
yeah, this is conditioned with Brettanomyces clauseni. So I've never heard of Brettanomyces clauseni, but that's what it's made with. So it seems like it's a pretty neutral Brett. Like it's
It's like the insane Clown City posse.
Yeah, I think this lets the hops come out a lot. I'm getting more of a IPA aftertaste hanging out.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I
Now
can
that
see
you
that
say
as well.
that, yeah, it's got like a slight, it's like a fruity, slight bitterness kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bitter beer, though. It's
But
just
it
got
does
that
have
perception.
a little bit of that Brett funk. It's just it works really well. It's an interesting beer. It's light. It's super drinkable. Like
Very balanced,
yeah.
pillowy mouthfeel.
It's good.
This is something I'd buy in a full 750.
It's like it doesn't linger on your palate super heavy, but it feels like every time you drink it, you kind of pick out a little something new, which is good. Nice complexity.
We get perennial beers here, right? I think I've seen
Think
it
you
at
can,
Gerard's. Yeah.
I believe they
Like the
show
standard
up. They
stuff.
show up year round. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
continually.
Yeah.
And I've seen these stouts like
perennially?
Yeah.
Perennially. Annually.
Heyo.
I got the joke.
Yeah, we did it. Vocabulary.
Switch pages.
You got any beers? You got any beers over there, John? Fuck.
Hold on a second.
I'm thirsty.
Okay, so up next is a beer from Civil Life Brewing Company, and this is an American brown ale. When's the last time you guys had a brown ale? It's probably been a long time.
No, actually, I went to was at a place in Fullerton called the Pickled Monk, and they have Downtown Brown on tap.
Oh, nice.
And I said, "Fuck yeah! What's the date on that keg collar there?" And the lady said, "It was fresh, son." And I was like, "I'll have me one of them." And
Well-
goddamn, it was delicious.
Why? When did this become the devil went down to Georgia? You're just like
Ding 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 ding.
told everybody look at the collar. She said, "This beer's fresh, son." I put my money down on the desk and said, "Now give me one."
So according to Andy,
Pretty
this is their biggest seller.
Oh my god, I almost spit.
But they also make 5
boom,
different
boom.
brown ales. So when you make 5 brown ales, I guess you're going to have one of them as your biggest seller.
Yeah, they don't sell much brown ale around here anymore.
I mean, I would. Here's the thing: like, if a brewery had, I was telling this to a brewery, Taru. You have 45 taps there, and every time I walk in, I have no idea what to drink because there's 45 taps. And I was like, if they had employee like staff picks, like so and so, like Keith likes this beer, he's super proud of it now. You should probably try it if you like what Keith likes, or Jeremy, the head brewer guy, or one of the tap room guys that are pouring beers. Like,
I've seen
if they
this
had
done
employee
at,
staff
like,
picks.
at Bevmo and stuff like places like that. Like,
Well, like-
employee Krista likes this.
Yeah, but if
beer.
the brewer says, "Hey man, we have this brown on. We realize it's a slow seller, but it's super rad right now. You should check it out." And be like, "All right, I'll try your brown." That's all it takes.
I'll try your
And
brown.
honestly, I think
I'll fucking try your
there's-
brown. You fuckhead. I'm just kidding.
Wow. There is merit to
little
like to put on a similar note. I remember going to like a real nice deli sandwich shop I liked, but it was just literally like we have fucking 100 meats and like fucking 100 cheeses and like whatever you want, like we'll make it. And then I go in there and I'm like, I know what I want. I want turkey and this and that. And then my friend's just like,
I have no idea.
fuck them. Do they have like the ones that are like done? It's like, no, you just like what do you like? And they're like,
I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Like,
I'm from the IE. I've never eaten food before.
all we eat is deli meat out here, Greg. That is offensive.
I have vegan deli meat.
Do you have vegan ham?
I do.
Okay.
I've had it.
I'm
and
gonna
it's
eat
good.
that when I'm gonna get that for when I'm really drunk in Denver.
I just want Greg to get blasted and eat a fucking tofurkey on the floor.
I'm fine.
Like fucking landfill and beer fest.
Yeah.
Just laying in front of the fridge. Ham.
Ham.
So, Izmir, does this smell like a stout?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is this? The American brown?
Yeah, American
Yeah,
brown.
American brown ale.
Smells very stouty.
Oh yeah, it's got
got a lot of
tons
roast. A
like,
lot of roast character.
roasty coffee character on it.
It looks like a brown ale though. It's a dark copper, copper brown.
It's only 4.8. So
Ooh, that is rusty.
4.8, but nice body. Lovely finish.
4.8, but that body's a 10. Oh.
You figure.
Dude, this is a really
it's a shame
good.
you two don't
This
get
is
along.
really good. Like the body and the sweetness is perfect. I think in this,
Mm-hmm.
like this is so drinkable for how sweet it is.
You think it's sweet? Well, I think it's
Yeah.
It's,
Well, it's got a sweet
balanced with
finish.
roast.
Yeah, it's got a sweet
Well, I
finish,
mean,
but then it,
yeah.
or the beginning is very kind of like sweet brown ale, like kind of sweet malt, and then the finish is like roasty and kind of dry, and so it doesn't feel like you just drank sugar.
Right.
That does actually work really well. The combination.
Yeah, it's just below the line of that bitterness being kind of acrid from maybe some dark roast malts.
Yeah, it rides that line
but
really,
it- yeah,
really good.
but it's just before getting acrid.
Like for a brewery
But
that
it's a nice, good bitterness. But man, I swear, if I had this blind, I'd swear all day this was a stout.
a stout. Yeah, stout all day long.
really, I no, I think
It's very stout. It's pretty roasty.
okay, it's roastier than a normal brown ale, but I still think that it's got the thin body. I mean, it's not super thin, but it's like a sweet, thin, dry finish. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It tastes sweet, but it's not sweet, obviously,
portery.
because it's finishing dry. But no, I mean, I can't guarantee anything.
Yeah.
But
Interestingly,
I mean, it doesn't taste like a stout to me at all.
when I look at this brewery on Untapped, this beer is their most popular beer, the American Brown Ale. But then they have an ESB, a rye pale ale,
Yum.
an English bitter,
Yum.
a Hefeweizen,
Yeah.
a Marzen
Yum.
porter milk stout. But it's
Andy mentions that their pub
No
is very
IPA.
English in style. So
just interesting. Like at least around here, you don't see breweries with that kind of lineup these days.
Yeah, like Yorkshire Square, and that's about it.
Yeah.
but overall, for a brown, I mean,
That's tasty.
I don't even seek out brown ale. Like I don't mind the style. I have nothing against it, but like I'm never looking for the next brown ale.
Yeah, nobody here does. Southern California, it's just all IPA all day.
That bar I was complaining about had
That's kinda
Downtown
true.
Brown on. That was one of their beers.
The Pickle Bunk is where it's had that.
Going downtown
down to the
in an
Pickle Monk.
earlier brown.
Like, even if I'm somewhere and there's a brown that I know is good and an IPA next to it, I'm more likely to get the IPA.
What makes downtown brown?
Lost Coast.
Lost Coast.
That's right.
I'm like,
It's got the weird.
I'm like, couldn't you have put
artsy
Great
label on
White
it.
on?
It's got the
I
guy
love
who's
Great White.
kind of Picasso-ish
Yeah.
face. It's kind of a rarity to find on tap these days, which is kind of a good thing.
I haven't had Great White in forever.
Yeah, I'm Great White's also a rarity, and I wish it was back.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I feel like wheat beers in general were like super hype a couple years, like not hype, but it was like
the whole white
the
IPA thing.
mainstream beer, not white IPA, but like just a wheat, right? Like to go local, like orange wheat was on everywhere,
Every fucking where, yeah.
And I feel like the general, like, you know, you had a wheat beer of some sort on. You had Blue Moon or Shock Top, or
You don't see that anymore
You're seeing
either.
a lot less of that than you used to.
now
around
it's all
these
lager
parts.
and IPA.
Like I feel like that tap that would have been a wheat beer is 805 now.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, I mean,
I do like wheat beers.
me too.
I like all forms of wheat beers. I like the weird American ones. I like Hefeweizen. I like
I love when people have like Franziskaner, like, or fucking Weihenstephaner on tap, like legit old school German wheat beers on tap. Like, man, those beers shine on tap.
Franziskaner's always a little banana-y for me, but it is fun to revisit here and there.
I dig it.
I always love Franziskaner Dunkel,
The Dunkel.
but yeah, I haven't seen that on in fucking years.
Like a dark lager is always nice and tasty. What else you got there, mister?
So up next is a beer from a brewery called Shared Brewing. This is a double IPA, triple dry hopped.
What does that mean when people triple dry hop, other than dry hopping it 3 times?
Well, that's what it is.
I read an article kind of complaining about the term double dry hop and how it doesn't actually mean anything. Like, does that mean you dry hop twice? Like,
Just added more.
is there a standard? Did you do twice as much? Like, it doesn't really mean anything. It's kind of different depending on who's putting it on there.
Well, you dry hop, and then you dry hop, maybe 3 days later, and then you dry hop again a week later. So it's triple dry hopped, right?
Oh,
That's
okay.
how I see it.
But are you dumping out hops during that process?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. That's a weird process.
I think the government needs to step in and define dry hopping.
Yeah,
I mean, Miller
guess-
Lights is a triple hopped. What does that mean?
I guess the question is,
They
are
say
you
it's
using-
triple hopped brewed.
Are you doing a
Triple hop brewed.
triple doses of dry hop, or are you tripling the dry hops that you did before?
That would be
It
tripling
could,
dry
It could be
hop.
the same, or it could be slightly something different.
Well, I can see the fruits
Or
of
is
their
it-
efforts here. Like, this is a very hoppy, aromatic beer.
So a little information about Shared Brewing. They're an offshoot of Side Project.
Oh, this smells amazing.
So this is basically
Are
like
they offshoot brewing or are they side project? Which one?
I was going to say this is very much like the brewery that did offshoot to make
Okay.
IPAs.
Gotcha.
So
It's literally an offshoot.
it's an offshoot of Side Project.
Okay. It's a
Which
side,
was a side project.
It's a side project off of a side project.
Jesus
Which
Christ.
side project was a side project of
Offshoot?
No, it was they were from
Offshoot was a side project
It's
for the
an
brewery.
offshoot of Taru.
But side project the brewery was people from another big brewery in that area.
Right.
Was it Perennial maybe?
It was the
I don't
side
know.
project.
So it's a side. Jesus fucking Christ.
We should have done this on the first show.
It's the triple.
I'm fucking sitting
hop
here
side.
blackout drunk with fucking yarn on the wall. Fucking like the side project.
Now you're talking about beer inception, side projects on side projects.
Anyway, so the brewers for Shared Brewing are two brewers from Side Project, Brian Ivers, who is formerly of Goose Island, and Tom Manning, who was formerly of Perennial.
Okay, gotcha.
All right.
Yeah.
Good job.
Perennial side project was the side project from Perennial. And so this beer is the side project.
Jesus fucking Christ. So it's a triple dry hop double IPA with Citra, Galaxy, and Nelson hops.
This is very tasty.
There we
go. Mic drop.
We fucking made it.
We just gotta get
It's really good. I mean, on the nose
Is
is
it? It's
on the
really
nose is like no, okay.
Go for it.
No, I'm saying it's like all the overripe tropical
Oh,
fruits
man.
and
Smells like candy.
yeah, some candy. It's like candied overripe fruit.
Yeah, it's got that cake batter thing that I can't get out of my head since
kinda
John
shreddy.
said cake batter that one time a year ago.
Oh yeah, it's got it on the flavor definitely. Maybe not on the nose as much because, and again, it's specific for the cake batter. It's a white cake batter, like white vanilla-ish cake batter. Smells like a thing in a lot of these hazy beers. I guess you could call this a hazy. It's pretty fucking hazy.
It tastes like a hazy.
It's got the flavor profile of the
Yeah.
hazy. It's got more aroma than they normally have, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So I get the cake batter thing in the hazy IPAs that are kind of halfway between clear and hazy versus the ones that are really hazy and murky. I don't get the cake batter nearly as much as these in-betweeners.
but yeah, this definitely does have that vanilla cake thing, the white cake batter thing. I posted a photo representation of us figuring out the side project, by the way, in the Discord.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like candied papaya is my major flavor sort of like takeaway from this beer.
Papaya.
Yeah, she's at Cheetah's on Tuesdays and Fridays, right?
Jason.
Yep, that's her.
Welcome to the stage, Candy Papaya.
Girls.
Andy's a longtime fan of the show, but I'm still going to apologize for doing these beers for the fourth show.
Maybe like that's the coveted slot. I
Yeah,
think.
no,
Like,
that's
really.
that's the true fans appreciate the fourth show.
Yeah.
Those are the best. I mean, we should probably label that in the show notes, like hashtag fourth show.
Instead, they did White Claw for the first show.
We
We should,
really had
do,
to,
we should do fourth show as Patreon content only
we had to have our wits about us.
because it's such a treat to listen to. It's,
If
it's
we
sort
could
of like
get
the-
together more, yeah, I would be on
It's
board
the
with
bread
that.
and butter.
But we can't get
in
together
a perfect
often enough, so.
world that if we all lived on the same
Yeah.
block,
In a perfect world, we'd all live next door to each other and podcast every
not
week.
in Moreno Valley, preferably.
Yeah, we'd like live on the beach or
Yep.
something. Yeah.
No,
What's wrong with Moreno Valley, motherfucker?
Nothing.
You know what we
Shit.
should do for Patreon content? Us shithouse drunk playing the Division 2. Just listen to the
I think
audio.
we checked that off our box last night.
Listen to us.
Yeah,
listen to us
yeah,
playing
yeah.
Division 2.
I was pretty.
John's dead again. What happened? I don't know. Just she's dead.
Guess what? John's drunk.
Guess what?
Patreon.com/4brewers. You could get this exclusive dumpster fire.
When I play alone and I'm like just casually drinking beer, I kick ass. Like
We should Patreon content. We're drinking the dumper. drinking 2 ounces each.
all right, so
Fuck you.
if you want to, we're gonna do that right now. So if you want to hear us drink this dumper that has this completely horrible,
And Jason's
fucking-
taking his headphones off and he's out the door. Oh,
I'm gonna barf
okay,
on the
see ya.
soundboard.
Jason just melted.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear that, hit us up on Patreon. Like it's
Dude,
it's
$1
a buck an episode.
$1.
It's $4 a month.
Buy some beer every month. That'd be rad.
This beer's really
So
good.
yeah,
So despite being triple dry hopped, it doesn't have that crazy grassy or that. Sometimes you get that thing where it kind of burns.
Vegetal. Oh yeah, the hot
Yeah.
burn.
this has
Yeah.
none of the bad stuff that comes with hazy IPAs that
No,
are
it's a
poorly made.
super well made beer.
Yeah. This is excellent.
Great nose, just a really solid beer all the way through.
Great mouthfeel. It's sweet without being, too cloying or like not having a dry finish. It's great. It comes off kind of desserty for me too. I think because that cake
Upside down
batter
cake.
presence is so.
Pineapple upside down cake.
Yeah, exactly. So well done. I'm a fan of Shared Brewing, which is an offshoot of Side Project, which is not Offshoot Brewing, which is a side project of the brewery.
Correct.
Which is not related to Side Project.
Nailed it.
All right, we'll end it there.